All right, everybody. YouTube, how you doing? Once again, we back with another installment, episode 7 of How Did I Get Life? Subscribe, like, comment, share with somebody. Please let them know we got some serious content over here that's very educational and very uplifting at the same time. This is the show where I talk to ex-lifers and people that had life without prison, and they tell a story of how they got life and what they did to get out of prison and the changes they made and what they've been doing since they've been home now. And it's some amazing stories. So I'm here today with another great episode with another person I've walked the yard with. Great dude. Introduce yourself to the YouTube.
I'm Timmy Gilmer.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm out of Compton.
Okay.
I did 36 years.
36. How long you been on?
36 years and 6 months and 11 days.
In 22 seconds.
In 22 seconds.
That's right.
Yeah, so I had life without.
Okay.
I've been all over the prison system. Started back. I'm gonna take you back a little bit.
Yeah. Take me back to the beginning.
Taking back to the
How
beginning.
was your upbringing?
Upbringing was cool, man. I had a mother and a father.
Okay.
Most people came up. They didn't have. I had 7 brothers and sisters. I was the fifth of 7.
Okay.
And we had a pretty good lifestyle. My father used to be an underwater welder. He ended up.
He was making good money.
Yeah, he ended up working for the flood control. My mother worked at the Veterans Hospital.
Okay.
For about 20-something years. I was a pretty good athlete growing up, but I had a speech impediment. I grew out of that. But I grew out of that. But overall, it was pretty good. I had a pretty good childhood.
Yeah.
I really wasn't in the gangs and shit like that because I was an athlete.
Yeah.
Basketball, baseball, football, track. Run the gamut. I went to Compton High. I was recruited by Oklahoma, all kind of different universities. But it was there when I had a little problem with a coach. He wouldn't let the guys speak with me, and he kind of derailed me, drove me to the streets.
Yeah.
He denied the guy speaking to me, and because I couldn't get that scholarship. I felt like, you being a 17-year-old kid, man, you feel like your life is over at that point. And so I didn't trust adults after that. That was it. That was it for me. So I turned to the streets, turned to the homies, and started selling dope. And it got kind of big, I started pushing a little weight.
Yeah.
And started doing it in the city, out of the city, up north, all around. I was selling where anybody wanted to buy it, I was selling it to them, So got caught up, when you're in that life, sometimes you get that, how can I say that, Scarface mentality.
Yeah.
You don't take nothing from me, you take something from me, it's consequences and repercussions. And that took place, and some people were killed, and I ended up getting 36 years of life. I got life without.
Life without.
Yeah, I got life without.
Wound up doing 36 years off that life.
Wound up doing 36 years off that life without. So that's pretty much how I got to that point in a nutshell. Without all the drama.
So what year did you get to prison?
I got to prison in 89, 90.
And you was how old at that time?
I was 21, 21, yeah.
Life without sentence in prison. What was the first prison you hit?
San Quentin.
San Quentin. And back then that was like that was one of the ultimate prisons. That one in Folsom.
San Quentin was original. That was original level 4s.
Yeah.
You just didn't walk there. You had to be. It was not like prison evolved over the time I was in jail. Up there, it wasn't guaranteed you was going home.
Yeah.
Even if you had a date, it wasn't guaranteed. People were dying there all the time, so it was vicious. I've seen so much barbarism that, I can't even begin to explain to you. The violence and things that I've seen. Some of this stuff I don't even tell my family. I told any of my son, I didn't even tell him, because the stuff was just too much. The people, it would have drove my family to the point where they'd been like terrified.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt. You couldn't tell them.
No, you couldn't tell
them. Because they'd have been more
Yes.
worried about you.
Yeah.
Than anything else at that time. That had drove them crazy.
That had drove them
worried
crazy.
About,
worried
kind
about
of setting that you was waking up in every day.
Yeah. In fact, my sister Kim, she used to watch this show called Oz.
Yeah.
You heard of it? And she,
I used to get the same.
Yeah. And she thought Oz was real. She thought that's what was going on.
Yeah.
When she first saw it, I think the first first 2 episodes, I remember I called home and she was like, "You need something? You owe anybody?" It was really it was weird.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm saying so that's what I was faced with coming through San Quentin.
Yeah.
I was in Soledad, I was in Tehachapi and Calipat, and I ended up in Lancaster, Solano. So I pretty much did like they say, a prison tour.
Yeah. So let me take you back.
Mm-hmm.
What was that moment like when you were sitting in the courtroom and the judge, you got the jury came back and they read out that guilty verdict? I mean, what went through your mind? Do you remember it, at that time, what went through your mind?
You really, it's like watching a movie, but within yourself. And you don't really, I felt numb. So you don't really, I didn't react, I didn't go crazy, screaming and hollering. I know some dudes who actually did that.
Yeah.
But I was more numb than anything. I was so young, so it really wasn't dawning on me life without, what that actually meant. And so at the time, I felt like, I was gonna get out.
Yeah.
In my mind. But as people start telling me, man, you got Buck Rogers time.
That was the word for it then.
Yeah, you got Buck Rogers time. I'm like, what are you talking about? I got Buck Rogers time. Yeah, you got Buck Rogers time, man. They said you ain't getting out the way these back then. It was Duke Majan and Pete Wilson. Them dudes weren't letting nobody out. It was like you check in, but you don't check out.
Just that simple.
And that's how it was. So I did. My first stop was in San Quentin.
Yeah.
Then after that, it was a major riot down there. Then they transferred me to Tehachapi, and then I was in Tehachapi. That's where I seen you, and so Tehachapi was rough back then too, But we was on the yard down there, and I ended up, at that point I was like, I really didn't care, if it wasn't for my wife and my kids. I probably would have lost it.
Yeah.
I would have really lost it. I'd have really just cut crazy. I really wasn't nobody to be mess with back then. I used to walk around with a boat one.
Yeah.
But I wasn't one of them dudes who's gonna start nothing, but I would finish it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So Lancaster, Tehachapi was my first run in it, but it was there that I started to see some things that woke me up. But I got a job in this dental office.
Okay.
And the dental office started my original change because I was helping everybody, blacks, whites, dudes coming in. My thing, I was a dental assistant, so I used to do dental x-rays, just to make partials, dentures. I used to do.
It was a real job.
It was a real job.
It gave you your first introduction of working, in the real world in prison with different people and different staff, and you worked. You was around women, so
I was around women.
That was beautiful, boy. You can see been around too many women. So it was women in there.
Oh, it was women in there.
I stayed going in there. I didn't keep checking out. Rub them titties right here. You rub them titties on me.
Yeah, it was wild, but. Tehachapi started my original change because I was able to, help people.
About what year was that?
That was like 93, 94, somewhere around 95, around that time.
Yeah.
So I ended up being in that job for like 7 years, but I originally was a yard crew worker. You know what I'm saying? I was, you have that sense of despair, and you have dudes. I know dudes that they was just doing everything, every kind of drug, every kind of everything. They just gave up on life.
Trying to numb that pain.
Trying to numb the pain. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to be high through all. I used to smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? We used to drink wine and shit, but I never was no hard drug user. I never fucked around. Cocaine, heroin, I never fucked with that shit. It wasn't.
Wasn't conducive.
Nah, it wasn't conducive. I sold too much dope to be.
Really.
Trying
that was me.
Right.
Yeah, I sold too much of this shit to do this shit.
To do it.
It don't make sense.
I seen the outcome of it. So that wasn't one of my things.
Yeah, for sure. But that was cool, man. So, all right. So now you're in prison.
Mm-hmm.
How did you figure out? I got life without now.
Yeah.
I got to get out of here some kind of way. How did you start taking them steps? What was that? How was that journey?
When my father passed,
Sorry to hear that.
Really,
rest in peace.
When my father passed, it was a wake up call to me. It was like that call to say that generation. It's like you have that time where you're not really responsible for anything. You still got your mother and your father. It's like a I won't say a crutch, but a helping hand you knew was there. So when my father passed, I was like, man, this is it. This is me. Now I got to look to my son. I got to look to, my kids to try and be something better for them.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to make this prison thing a bad thing. I wanted to turn it into something that, was good. And, but only way I could do that was to change.
Yeah.
And I had to do that change from within first.
Yeah.
So my father died, and I was taken to, you know how it is in prison when somebody in your family died, everybody stay away from you.
Yeah.
Nobody want to talk to you. They like, man, this dude might blow up at
any moment.
But I didn't want to turn my father's death into something ugly, so I took a chance and just said, you know what, I'm gonna change my life around. But it was a captain that came to my cell because I hadn't called home, and my wife and my mother, they was tripping because they thought, okay, I'm a junior, so me and my father was close, and so they thought this man is gonna blow up. So they kept calling the prison, and the captain had to come to my cell, and they came deep too. They was like,
they come deep.
Yeah, they came to extract me up out that mother if I didn't act right.
If you wasn't acting right, straight out, they come deep.
They come to get me. And so you know how you got the crack in the door, and you can look out the side crack of the door to look down the tier?
Yeah.
Man, them suckers was against the wall, suited and booted.
Yeah.
They was coming to get shields and the tasers and everything. And so I looked down the crack of the door. I was talking to the captain at the door with the psych.
Yeah.
He like, hey man, your mother, your father, you said your mother, your wife, and everybody's calling down here. They worried about you.
Yeah.
And I need you to come see the psych. I said, I don't need no psych, man. Get the fuck away from my door. Go about your business. And he says, nah, you gotta see the man. So I come up close. You know how you black out the cell where it's so black you can't even see in? That's how it was. I was like that for like 3 days. But I peeked out the side of that crack. And I seen all them popo. I seen that movie before.
Seen that movie before.
And
this ain't gonna end well.
I wasn't about to star in that one.
That's right.
So I tell him, look, man, I'm gonna come on out. I'm gonna come out. He said, you coming out? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming out. So I came out and took me over to the psych. And the psych asked me one question: how you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. Man, that sucker wrote for about 35, 40 minutes writing the paperwork. When he got through, he told the captain he's depressed. He asked me no other questions. He's depressed. Well, hell yeah, I'm depressed. My father just passed. Why you ask me questions like that? But he did. And so the captain said, are you going to put him on medication? He said, yeah, we're going to put him. Remember that Zoloft, the bouncing ball?
Yeah.
He said, we're going to put him on Zoloft. I'm like, what? I don't know medication.
Had to be crazy.
He said, but he was talking like I wasn't in the room. He was straight talking to the
psych,
yeah.
like you're not even here.
Yeah, psych. He said, is that meds you can take a scalpel is hot as hell. That's like hell. I mean, when I first got there, it was like hell. It was so hot, 122 degrees.
I remember.
So he tell him, nah, he can't be on the med. He said, good. Then he turned to me and said, you out of here. I said, what? He said, yeah, I'm sending you out of here. He said, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to send you to Lancaster.
And he did you a favor.
He did me a favor.
A major favor.
He did me a major favor.
He did.
He said, I'm going to send you down there so you can see your wife, your mother, and your kids, and be closer to home. I said, thank you. And I went back to my cell. And it was at that point there that I broke down.
Yeah.
And then I was out of there.
Yeah.
Got to Lancaster. First person I saw was Kenneth Hartman. I don't know if you remember Kenneth Hartman.
I remember the name. I'm trying to put a face with it.
White boy, Ken Hartman. He used to be in the chapel up there with him and Big Chill. He used to be in the chapel. They ran the chapel up there.
It's starting to come to me now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I ran into Paris Dixon.
Yeah, OP.
And OP.
Sleepy P.
Yeah, P. So I got with them, and we talked. And he showed me around the yard what was going on, and it was at that time there that I said, "Look, I got to change my life." And I always said education was the key to anything that you had to do, and so what I did was I started going to school. I got my GED. Mm-hmm. I got my went to typing classes. I never was a good typer, but I went to the classes, and next thing you know, I started going to school, got my GED, and next thing I know, I was helping people.
Yeah.
I started just like I was in Tehachapi. I started helping people there in Lancaster, and I started a class. I was in the class, and I got with this guy named Bert Fisher, and Bert Fisher was a teacher, and I asked him could I use his class in the afternoons to start teaching guys to help them pass their GEDs.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. So I got with Ken Hartman and found out exactly what I needed to do to start a class.
Yeah.
And got with this sergeant, and the next thing you know, a couple of weeks later, I was teaching class in the back.
Wow.
And I had a GED class, started out with Flipper Dipper and all them in the back.
Yeah.
And started teaching class, and the next thing you know, that class went from 6 people to 15 people. The next thing you know, I was running classes every day, all day, on the weekends. It just blew up.
Yeah.
And the more and more people that I helped, the better, seemed like the situation became. And then Coastline came.
Yeah.
You remember Coastline?
I remember Coastline.
Yeah, so Coastline came, and I knew then, I said, no, I'm finna get me a degree.
Yeah.
And messed around and got a degree, got 1 degree, social behavior science, got another degree. Next thing I know, I got 4 or 5 AA degrees.
Yeah.
But we couldn't go.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We couldn't go no farther than that.
Yeah.
But so at the same time, I'm still running the classes. I started doing all kind of programs. People were starting programs. I was helping people run programs, create programs, help maintain programs. Was doing a lot of that. And had a lot of help, my partner, Andy.
Yeah,
Andy, had help, a lot of help.
We had Andy on the show already.
Is that right?
Yeah, we had Andy on the show.
Yeah, Andy used to help me out. Him and Robert Chan and Tin Win and, all them different dudes. I couldn't, we had 19 classes.
Yeah.
I can't run them all.
Yeah.
So we had people who would come in, they would run these classes, do the thing, Alan and all of them.
Yeah.
And so one day, this guy came there. His name was Dr. Roy, and he came to get a dog. And he found out about the programs that I was running and all these guys that had AA degrees. And
Not to cut you off, but they had to, just to reiterate, they had the dog program in Lancaster. That's what you're talking about.
Correct.
So, people ain't going to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they had a dog program in Lancaster where the inmates trained the dogs to go back out to the street to be guard dogs and what's the mother dogs they call?
PTSD.
Yeah.
Dog. They train. It's a trained dogs for PTSD. It's a trained dogs. They have good behavior dogs, and so Pause for Life became a big part of that program.
That's right.
There. And John and them was.
And they saved dogs from getting euthanized. So,
for sure.
And so the dogs and the inmates was in the same trying to save one another. Yeah,
exactly. Well, they did.
They did. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
helped out.
Yes,
the dogs brought a sense of humanity to that yard.
That's right, without a doubt.
Because I remember when they first hit the yard, and the dogs came on that yard. Man, it was. Cause just imagine you being in prison all these years and never seen another animal
20, 30 years
other than a bird or
a rat
or
in the
rat
kitchen.
or one of them old crazy cats.
Yeah.
But we got the dogs and everybody wanted to be a part of the program. Everybody couldn't be a part of the program when it first started, but eventually, the program grew and became one of the big situations. Well, Dr. Roy came to get a dog. He came to adopt one and found out about the program. And next thing you know, he went back to the university, talked to Dr. Taffany Lamb. She was a real hero of ours. She, Dr. Roy and Mr. Underwood, Mr. Underwood became the main sponsor of all of that. And they put together a bachelor's degree program. But at first it was like a writing class.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm signing up. This dude's a professor from a university. Get me in. I'm gonna get my bachelor's degree. And we end up getting a communications. The communications degree, bachelor's degree was what they offered, and we all dove in. I was one of the first cohorts, the first 25, and it was one of those things that. This is something that can help us.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Definitely can't hurt you.
Definitely can't hurt
you.
Because figure like 6% of the population has bachelor's degrees. That's it. Everybody else, you got a high school diploma, you dropped out. Then you have master's degrees and PhDs, and so those things made a difference. That the reason why I'm sitting here with you right now.
Without a doubt.
So. Once Dr. Roy did that and we started this program, I still was running my other programs, still helping people, still doing what I was normally doing. We just went on a bigger scale, and so when it came time for my brother to get ready to get commutations and get commuted, a lot of dudes had a lot of stuff. It was because of those programs there that made it to where the governor focused in on that yard because it was just too much going on, man. Yeah. There was stars coming there.
A lot of positive stuff going on.
A lot of stuff,
yes,
man. We had everything coming there, and I was right in the thick of it, and those things helped us. Yeah. So when they finally did get around to opening our files, it was like, wow, how did you do this? Where did you get this from? How were you able to do these things? We were able to do it because we decided we was going to be on this PPF yard, and we was going to, let go all the drugs, let go all the drama, stop fighting each other. Yeah. That's
racial issues, colors, and gangs.
Yeah, those things.
Everybody gonna be their own man over here.
Everybody had to be their own man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that made it. Because I remember when I first got there, and I saw how it was. I'm like, this is some kind of bizarro world.
Oh, because we had been stuck in a world that we didn't understand that. You know what I mean? Because when I was over there and I seen a brother in the Mexican fight, and they was talking about everybody get down, and I seen everybody down. I was like, I don't know if I want to get. Hold on, not yet. Everybody down?
Oh yeah.
You mean just two men can fight and we ain't stabbing it? I laid down there. Let me lay on back down, Jack. I done made it.
You know what freaked me out was I saw a baseball game with baseball bats, real bats.
Me too.
I'm thinking. I stayed on the other side of the yard because I'm like, any minute now, this is going to go bad. And I'm not going to be on the yard with baseball bats. That's not.
And I ain't got it in my hand.
And I don't have it in my hand, But the trip was after the game, everybody, blacks, whites, Asians, Mexicans, North Daniel, Muslims, and everybody walked by and high-fived each other.
Yeah, that's the first time I seen that kind of interaction myself, and it was good because it wasn't no S&Y, PCR, none of that
but
old
none of
stuff.
that, none of
Yeah,
that.
we was general population yard.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
But, you know,
just as a bunch of grown men who
bunch of grown
decided to
men.
be, you know what, I'd rather do my times sensibly than be going through all this barbaric,
Yep.
you know, bullshit that everybody else want to go
Exactly.
through.
But we had a lot of help from, you know, the dudes in green.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know,
But that was because of the
the
changes they had
change.
was seeing
Exactly.
in the people. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
Wasn't over there stabbing everybody and,
Exactly.
and all the other, wasn't going on. So it was like, hold on.
Imagine.
Everybody seen something different. The police seen something
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
The inmates seen something different.
Yeah.
The outside people that started coming in said, hold on.
Yeah.
And the cold part about it is once you got over there, what really blew my mind was you would see brothers hanging out with Asians and white, and they everyday partners. Yeah, but we were so
Yeah.
we cut ourselves off from so
Yeah.
many people and
Yeah.
all these different distractions and all this other shit we put up to block one another from seeing one another.
Oh, yeah.
When we finally get together, we be the best of partners. You know
Oh
what I mean?
man, all my Asian partner, my boy Pee Wee,
Yeah.
and you know Tin Win and all them
All
man,
them.
dudes was my partners, man. You know I used to, you know,
First white man I ever hugged was Lee.
Lee Gibson.
Lee Gibson. I was going around hugging white people. You know what I'm saying? Just wasn't in my culture. You know what I'm
I don't think he was white. I don't think he was white.
He damn sure wasn't black. I can tell you that. Oklahoma red boy. You know?
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, so okay, let's get back on. Okay, so what was that transition like? You know, what I mean, after going to school, doing all that, what was the next steps that allowed you to put that on the pedestal to say, this is what I've been doing, take a look at me? How did all that, what is that process like?
Well, that process opened my mind up to a whole nother level of understanding about life. So what it did was it made me push to want to do something for people even on the street.
Yeah.
So therefore we started doing fundraisers.
Okay.
We did fundraisers for the homeless. We did fundraisers for foster. We did
Battered women.
For battered women shelters, nurses, Red Cross. You know, started a program called ACE, Achieving College Education. Started another program, me and Robert Chan, called HEART. Helping everyone attain real transformation. That became a real cornerstone of a lot of the programs that we were running down there. Heart and Man of Honor.
Okay, Man of Honor, Man of Honor.
Which Kenneth Hartman had started.
Yeah, Man of Honor was really like the, but yeah, that was the one that had a whole lot of credentials behind that joint.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, matter of fact, and then they had Crop. Crop was big too.
Crop.
That's what Sleepy P and Big James, they started that.
Yeah.
They had a radio. They had advertisement. People were bringing their kids down there to us. And
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember.
So what I did was I started helping in the community. We sent kids to camp. We donated money to help out with kids who was taking their SATs. We was helping families who couldn't afford to, because say you got a low score, you want to take it again. That costs money. So we started actually funding the money so the kids can actually take those tests. We started reaching out during the COVID.
Yeah.
We fed, was it 400 nurses?
Wow.
Yeah, we did a drive, about 10 of us, my boy Richie Rich and CR and all of us, we got together.
Oh, CR. Shouts out to CR, that's my boy, man.
Yeah, CR and all, we got together and we donated our own money.
Yeah.
It was only like 10 of us.
Yeah.
But what we did, when we did that, we raised the money and ARC, they came on board and matched our money. So we was able to deal with a hospital out here, Kaiser, right off Cadillac.
Yeah.
And then we had another one down in Kern County. It was in Allen Valley.
Okay.
And we did a hospital out there. And the nurses was like, wow, why would they pick us? Why did we do that? Because during that time, those nurses, they was going through it mentally.
Yeah, they was.
Families couldn't even go and say goodbye to their loved ones.
Yeah.
So it was them that was the only ones that was being able to see their families the members and to pass messages before people died, you know, to their families. And so I thought
Man,
that
I was so glad I was out.
recognized. I thought that needed to be recognized.
No, without a doubt, and it needed to be. Because that was, man, to watch people die like that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so happy I was out of prison. That man got out a few years before. It was like, thank God I'm out here, because I'd have been crazy in there, not knowing how your family, you know, not you, man. Yeah, that was.
So it was rough on the family because you know people were dying in there.
No, they really was.
They died.
I seen them die in prison, outside of prison. They was dying. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was anywhere between 13 and 19 people died on our yard. Yeah. You know, it was a lot of them was older guys, but, you know, they died, man. And
my boy died, Eddie, man. Yeah. Eddie B, man. Yeah. Eddie B, I heard Eddie B. I loved it, Eddie B.
Yeah, my boy Terry died. Terry was one of the first to die. He was part of our bachelor's degree program. He died.
Rest in peace, Terry, man. Eddie B, man.
Yeah. So we started doing that. The donations, we used to help kids with trauma. Yeah. You know, and so that took me to another level of giving back. You know, trying to do things. And the thing was, we were doing these things with no hope of
not knowing if you would ever get out of jail.
Yeah, we weren't doing it for hey,
but
you're gonna get me out of jail.
It felt good.
It was good.
Yeah, it felt good when it really does. It's a feeling that's money cannot even compensate you for that feeling. You know what I mean?
I used to do that when I was in school. When I was doing school, and I used to teach, and you're helping a kid, you know, with a problem, and you get to that point where they figure it out, and you see the light going.
Yeah, come all the way on.
That's what made me understand what teachers, you know, really have that labor of love, because it's not about money. No, because they're not getting that much money. Yeah, it's not about money. So it was about helping somebody reach another level in life, and so that's what I ended up doing. And you know, I had a lot of help from, you know, especially administrators. You know, I can't even name them all. You know, Jameson and all the different kinds of staff members, wardens and captains. And,
a lot of
Johnson,
laudatory chronos.
Oh man,
up to Gahoo.
I used to tell dudes, we used to have orientations. We used to bring people to the yard that were new.
I remember.
And we talked to them, and I asked the question, and all them dudes would be like, "Hey, well, I asked, how many of you here got a chrono in your file from a captain?" Nobody would raise their hand.
Not even from a CO. What do you mean?
Yeah, captain.
You went too high.
Yeah, went too high.
You shot way too high, man.
I did.
But you should have shot maybe a boss at the one job or something.
But I shot that high because I wanted them to know that everybody who was standing behind me had one. Yeah. And when you go to them boards, they flip them files open, and they see you got a chrono in your stuff from a captain. They're like, wait a minute, because that's unusual. That's like finding a unicorn. It's not gonna happen.
It's a game changer.
Exactly.
So if you're an inmate that you are interacting with the captain, that means you must be doing something very positive for the penitentiary for him to have to come interact with you, because they ain't got no reason to interact with us.
No, they don't.
Not at all.
They really don't.
No, they not for us. They talk to their people.
They really don't.
Yeah,
and that green wall was real.
Yeah. Without doubt.
And so, so with that, you know, being done, I started helping out with all kind of stuff. Food. We did a walkathon for cancer kids. You know. Yeah. And these guys were actually coming.
Common came down there.
We had all kind of stars.
Mike Epps came down there before. A bunch of people came down. I remember I was
seeing
it. I was seeing it when I was out.
You know, even Justin Bieber did an acoustic concert there. You know.
Yeah.
And so it was a change that nobody really even knew that you could actually make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As an individual.
Yeah.
So those things were the reason why, when it came time for me to get out, it was those things that made all the difference in the world.
Yeah. So what you had to do? What was that clemency process? What you had? How did all that occur? How did you know who to send it into? When it was the right time to send it into? How did all that take place?
It was a warden. We had a warden named Session.
Okay.
She was a believer.
And you had been down by how long at this time?
I've been down over 33 at that point, because
Okay.
about 3 years. Yeah, about 34, about 33.
Okay.
32, 33, somewhere around there.
All right.
And she came on the yard and hey, I want you guys to put in your commutations. Governor Brown is going to start commuting people. And,
Now, for the people who don't know what a commutation is, kind of.
a commutation is a paperwork that you can send in for clemency. It's like a form that you fill out to say to the governor or someone in a higher position that you are asking for your things to be changed or your sentence to be reduced.
Yeah.
The governor has that power. All of the governors have that power, and but you had to have done some things so where when he signed his name on it, he feels comfortable that you're not going to go back out there and do something stupid.
Without a doubt.
So those commutations were in the library. People, them commutations in there stacked up this high. Nobody was even using them because, coming through the time we came through, nobody was going to get them.
That's right.
Especially not from a governor who's running out there screaming, "I'm tough on crime." So, but Brown knew that during the time when he was the governor the first time, the things he put in place were unsustainable.
Yeah.
The cost was so enormous. I remember when I first came to prison, it was about 55,000 a year per inmate.
Yeah.
Before I left, it was about 120, maybe 100, especially if you had any medical issues, 1,000 per inmate. It just kept going up.
Yeah.
And the cost was going up.
It costs more to keep us in prison than it would to send us to college.
It costs more to keep you in prison. Yeah, I say that all the time.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Really I was just thinking about that. That's really crazy, but
it really was.
No,
it really was like that.
Yeah.
So, I tried to, get myself together and be prepared.
Yeah.
It was a counselor we had called Eric Cox, and Cox used to always tell me, "Hey man, get your stuff together. These laws are changing. These things are going." I'm like, "Cox, man, I done did everything I could think about doing." He said, "Yeah, but just keep doing it because it's gonna bust loose."
Yeah.
And sure enough, Governor Brown started commuting people, and they started rolling out. You start seeing people leave, and you like, "Whoa, it's real."
Man, that's what happened to me. I started seeing people leave. When I got to that A yard, I started watching people walk. I said,
I had never seen nobody leave. I had never seen anybody leave
going
with
home.
life without.
Yeah. So I got the A yard.
Yeah, I had my buddy Lucky. Lucky had 7 to life.
I watched him walk out of there.
He did 30 years.
Yeah, I watched him. I said, man, they going home. I'm going home too with these dudes.
Yep.
Shit, I need some of this here.
Yep.
Rub some of this off on me.
But you know what? There's a lot of guys that are left in there that are still there.
Yeah.
Like my boy Robert Chang. Robert Chang got a master's degree in prison. He did it. He did it coming through things with us. He continued to get his education. We have Maceo. Maceo is still in there.
Yeah.
These guys are. These are sharp dudes, man, and they really made changes.
Yeah.
I get calls from them all the time, and I send them material. Anytime somebody call me from there, I pick up.
Yeah, I always.
Because I'm never not going to answer the call because I know what it was like to be in there to call somebody and they don't pick up the phone.
You know what it's like when they pick that phone up.
I know what it's like to pick that phone up.
And definitely coming from us.
Exactly.
To walk them yards with them dudes. It's like we was talking earlier.
Exactly.
And I was like, anytime I'm hanging out with cats that I didn't been on them yards with and had them life sentences with, it's a different feeling.
Exactly.
No matter if I'm hanging with my family or whatever, feeling, when we together
Yeah.
and we look at each other and we not on that yard,
It's different.
lusting off somebody's CO wife.
Yeah.
But damn, she got it. Man, good Lord. I tell her, man, me too. I tell her, but on some real, you know what I mean? On some real shit, man, to be out here and to see, because what people don't really know, like from me and you and a couple other cats I interviewed, well, definitely for you, you helped a lot, with me, when the last little months I had to get out, talking to me, going to them little classes that you had, soaking up information for you. So I, just like that. For me, when I look back and be like, wow, man, we all helped each other. And you was helping people get out of jail, and you was getting out of jail.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, man, I don't give a fuck if you get out or not. I got life without. He was like, man,
Correct.
let me help you get out, brother.
Exactly.
Let me help you do some things that, I'm saying, to get you out of here. This is it for you. So, yeah. Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate, because it's like, I'm quite sure, like, see, people don't understand is that, see, when you in a position, you got life without and life in the pen, and you programming and doing, people be like, man, you acting like you got a date or something. You know what I'm saying?
They used to ask me that.
Stop playing. I know
why
you know.
Why are you
that
going
too.
to school? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?
That's
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't because I was going to school, because I had already got my education.
Yeah.
But I was trying to help people, prevent them from coming back to school. It was this guy, one time he got out, and he came right back to jail. And I remember I asked him, I said, man, why is it that you come back to jail? He said, I don't have education. I can't get a job, so you got to pick up the gun or pick up the sack. And that's what he did. And he wasn't even out 6 months. Yeah. He's back in jail with a new beef.
Without a doubt.
So that's one of the reasons why I kept doing what I was doing. I used to tell people all the time, you need to get your education. Education is what is the key for you to continue on and to be something. Because when you get out without a degree, it's hard to try and find some type of meaningful employment.
Yeah.
So when you get out, you have that degree. You're able to put that on your resume and speak to it, and that's something that matters, especially in society. Right. Because when you're talking to people and they say, "Well, who are you? What do you do? What do you?" Those interviews are quick.
Yeah. So
you have to say, "Hey, I'm such and such and such. I have a bachelor's degree in blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm experienced in A, B, and C, or D. Yeah. I've helped. I've done charity work. I've done this and that. All those things employers look at as a plus for you as an individual, because it's just not about your education. It's if you're a well-rounded person, a well-rounded individual. If you are, then those are plus for an employer to say, okay, I'm gonna hire this guy because he's able to do other things. You know what I'm saying? Not just this, but he can do
fit in with the people
Correct.
as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So,
correct.
Walk me through the moment when you put your clemency in and you're waiting to hear something. How long did that process take from the time you put it in to the time you heard something back from it?
I heard something immediately with mine. I heard something. I got interviewed twice.
Okay.
The guy came and seen me and then came back and saw me again. But I didn't get the commutation. I didn't get it. I was walking.
And what was did they give you a reason for?
No, they don't have to tell you anything.
Okay. They just say no.
Sometimes they don't say nothing. You don't hear nothing.
Just don't hear back from them.
That's
don't
hear them back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but what happened with me? A guy named Mike Daly was walking by, and he said to me, he said, "Hey, Jiggs, have you heard about 775?" I'm like, "No." He said, "Man, that's a new law that passed. 775 give you an opportunity to go back to court. If you fill it out, they're gonna give you a lawyer. You can go back and represent your case to the court." I'm like, "Yeah, man, whatever." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The government's passing out commutation. I'm going that route.
Yeah.
But some said
you hell bent on. Not ready for change yet.
Because some told me, "Man, fill that out." I filled it out, sent it in. I mean, it was like maybe 4 months later, 5 months later, I get a letter. "Hey, I'm your lawyer, and we're gonna try and see if we can put your case back in the court." I'm like, "Whoa, I got a lawyer?"
Wow.
Man, I start sending that. You know how it is. We're looking for lawyers.
That's right.
And you can't get one, and then you got one saying, "Hey, this is what
I'm yours."
Is. Man, I start sending her everything I could think of to send to her, and the lady name was Miss Laura Spencer. And
Shouts out to Miss Laura Spencer.
And so she did it. I told her to do something. She did it. And they asked for my C file. And the C file holds all the stuff that they put in there, whether you know what's in there.
Good, bad, ugly, indifferent.
Exactly. So the judge asked for my C file. He wanted to see what kind of person he was dealing with before he started talking. and he saw my C file. He was like, "What the?" And I remember him asking me, "What made you do all this?"
Yeah.
And I told him I wanted to help people. That's it. I wanted to help people. And he said, "Okay, we have a hearing coming up. We'll talk to this prosecutor." And he told the prosecutor, "I went through his file. I've been through his case. I don't believe he did this.
Yeah.
And if you don't basically overturn, resentence this man, offer this man something, I will." And that was it. I came to court that next time. The prosecutor gave up at that point. She asked for once she got the C file, she went through it, seen I had all the bachelor's degree, all the different chronos, and all the different stuff that I had accumulated over the years for good behavior, being on the yard. And so she agreed, and they come to court. The judge looked at me and said, "Mr. Gilmer, well, how would you like to be resentenced today?" And I said, I would love it.
Yeah.
And he said, "So ordered."
So ordered.
And that was it. I was gone.
Straight out. So you went back to the pen, or you walked out from?
No, I went back to the pen. They
Okay.
take me back. They take me back to jail. I get back in jail. I'm in Solano now.
Okay, you left Lancaster?
Yeah.
Okay.
I became a level 2, man.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
They dropped the points and all that stuff started happening. Yeah, I remember.
Correct.
Right.
I was level 2.
Yeah.
Down there. Man, level 2 is crazy.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, man.
Living in the dorm after living in the cell all the time. Man,
I
unbelievable.
don't even know why they have level 2s. They should just have prison.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is it just makes no sense, really.
Yeah.
But I was there, and I came back to the jail. The judge overturned my case, and he told him, "Hey, this dude didn't do this." And that was pretty much it.
So they just overturned the case.
They overturned me, and but they sent me to the board. They resentenced me because
Okay.
the prosecutor, I was looking for him to just throw it out. But see, when you throw a case out like that,
They got to pay you.
they got to pay
You
you.
didn't did too much time.
They did too much time.
Somebody got to pay, so they can't do that.
So they didn't want to do that. The prosecutor was like, "No, I'll resentence him. I'm not going to just wipe it."
Yeah.
And it just said,
Vacate the
whatever it
sentence, we
is,
can
I
do
don't
that.
care. But he's getting out of prison.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, and resentenced me. We moved to life without. Basically, I had time served.
Without a doubt.
I went to the board. I was in the board for only like an hour.
Yeah, that was
and 20 minutes.
That was just technicality.
Yeah, I just went to
just make it look good.
Correct.
Because the governor, the judge, and everybody said we want him out already.
Yeah, they already said
ain't nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
You had nobody to oppose you, even in the
No.
even in board.
Even in
with
board.
the DA coming, so you had nobody to oppose. So
Yeah, the DA straight up said, "No, I don't have no problem with him getting out."
Yeah.
That's rare
Without a
in
doubt.
itself.
And your record spoke for itself though, so it wasn't
Correct.
without a doubt. How many cats in the penitentiary how many people in life got a bachelor's, let alone in the penitentiary? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So when that played a part when I got out,
yeah,
my bachelor's degree and being a part of the fellowship program in Cal State LA.
Yeah.
And so with Dr. Taffany Lamb and Mr. Leo,
so how long you been out now?
I've been out now. This is 11 months.
11 months. 11 months. What you been doing since it was 11 months?
11 months. I've been in the fellowship at the university, and through the fellowship, I was able to get employment at a program called the Right Way Foundation.
Okay.
The Right Way Foundation deals with foster youth, getting them housing, getting them mental, help, finding jobs, and right now I'm a job developer.
Okay.
There. I help find jobs and things like that for them, and we find homes, and we get them prepared, educationally, finances, teach them about finances, about how to. And I was learning right along with them because after being in jail for so long.
On job training.
Yeah, exactly. Basically.
Without a doubt.
And so I got introduced to Franco Vega, and he basically took me in and said, "Hey, do what you do."
Yeah.
And I'm at the foundation now, and the foundation has really changed my life.
Yes.
Because it's it's basically doing the same thing I was doing in prison. I'm helping people.
Right.
And so.
But with a bigger purpose.
But
now.
with a bigger purpose now.
Yeah.
Because these foster kids, they really need help, man. They're aging out.
Yeah, you're catching them at the right time.
Yeah, because if not, they're going to be homeless.
Without a doubt.
And so what Franco and them does, he's passionate about it. And so what he does is he tries to, in every turn, he gives these kids break after break after break, and his foundation has really made a difference in a lot of kids' lives.
Yeah.
A lot of them got jobs, careers. They're doing things now that you would never, that they themselves would never thought they were able to do.
Yeah.
Because they had somebody that was there for them.
Somebody believed in
Somebody believed
that.
in
That push.
Yeah,
it makes a difference.
We just had a third annual evaluation award, and what he does is he bring them back, and basically tell them the things that they was able to accomplish, the jobs that they have now, and basically to continue encouraging
Without a
them.
doubt.
Yeah, to continue encouraging them that, hey, you have a place here.
Yeah,
you
that
have
matters.
somebody to come back
You
to.
got a family.
You got family. That's exactly what it is. It's a family.
That's right.
And so the Right Way Foundation has been a real turning point in my life. So what I do is I try to help out whatever it is they ask me to do. I try to make it happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Is it still unbelievable?
it really is.
Did you wake up and be like, I am not in that gym no more?
Really, what the trip is waking up,
Yeah.
and I'm turning over,
Nah.
and I'm with my wife.
In a big old bed.
In a big
and not
old
looking
bed.
at that wall.
The bed is super
or that
big.
goddamn locker. I hate that locker.
Oh no, that locker! I know. I
That
didn't see
goddamn locker.
I know.
You
I
make
know.
it sit locking that goddamn stool and that table. You be like,
Yeah.
You got
So-
some celly climbing down on top of you.
I know.
Farting and peeing 3, 4 in the morning, fucking up your rest. Oh my God!
And that's
My celly still does that now, but that's my wife. But this is different. Okay, no, go on. That's too much information. Too much information. Cut that out. Cut that out.
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that to your wife, man.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been beautiful. People who say it's hard because you want it to be hard.
That's
you got to be dedicated to and be one thing no excuses. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the mottos down at the Right Way.
Yeah.
No excuses, because you have no excuse. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to give it to you. You got to earn it. And you have to really get out there and be consistent. Like he said if you got to be to work at 9 o'clock, then you should show up at what time?
8:30. 8:45.
8:45. You're right.
Easy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you have to do. Be there.
Yeah,
on
my
time.
boy Dre tell you, he know every time he know I'm gonna be at his house 10, 15 minutes early.
Oh, yeah.
Before the time. Ever since he been knowing me, that's just who I am. You know what I'm
But that's
saying?
that's how we had to do.
I was 10 minutes early. That was it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he was
Yeah,
like-
but I'm always here, man. But let's believe I ain't never late. One thing I learned: you don't get nothing for being late. I done showed up early and got so much shit. You know what I'm saying? I like this white people time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Negro time ain't good for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Without a doubt, man. I'm glad to see you home, Jig. It's been a blessing. You done came out, support me, man. Bought your wife out, man. You always throwing some kind of function, man. You know what I mean?
You know we giving the thing, right?
Oh yeah, we giving the thing. We got to shoot that out. We got to shoot that out. We giving it. We giving the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do
For his
shout-out
wife.
for her birthday. You're gonna come perform.
I'm coming for. I got a couple of comedians with me.
Yeah.
So all the brothers, who want to come out, have a good time. Definitely the brothers that know us and had life and in the LA area, you want to come out, have some laughs. This is gonna be a monumental situation. This is cats. Instead of me telling jokes on the yard, I'm gonna be telling jokes in his backyard. See, little different, same shit, but little different. You know what I'm saying? Same shit, little different. You know what I'm saying? We sticking to the program. You know what I'm saying? We ain't changing too much.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Without a doubt, man. I want to thank you, Jigs, for coming on out, man, and having this interview with me.
I wanted to know how you guys felt about the rumor about San Quentin might be reopened.
San Quentin's not closed down.
San Quentin's not closed.
San Quentin's not closed down.
It's the
They shut the death row down.
Yeah,
But they got the San Quentin regular program,
Yeah,
level 2.
they running.
You get out of San Quentin faster than you get out of any prison ever with a life sentence.
Exactly.
San Quentin is the go home prison right now.
That's the go home place.
Oh man, that's Disneyland there. You
Yeah.
talking about stars and people?
Yeah.
Man, they got everybody down there,
Basketball
man.
teams come down there.
Man, it's beautiful
Football,
down there.
everybody go down there.
Listen,
now they closed death row.
Listen, they got a whole. I wish I had the internet site because I would send people to it. They got a whole site that's dedicated to the dudes in San Quentin prison with interviews and how they playing ball, how the stars come out with them. Oh yeah, it's a whole nother ballpark.
yeah.
They just shut down death row.
Yeah.
Yeah, death row was the thing that they got rid of in San Quentin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
San Quentin right now is pretty much what Lancaster was in the beginning, because Lancaster was the first one.
Yeah.
San Quentin adopted it, and then they blew it up even
Blew
more.
it up. Yeah, they really blew it
They
up.
blew it up even more.
That program they got a whole basketball program where outside people come in. It's like a league.
Yeah, yeah.
And play with them dudes.
Golden State
Yeah.
Warriors sponsor it.
Yeah. It's yeah. Quentin's doing astronomical things for guys in prison. If you down there, you're in the best place you can be in with a life sentence.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you one of the things that, like I said about my wife and everything. But I got a partner of mine. His name is Mike Black.
Okay.
And that dude was there for me, man. And he really changed my life.
Yeah.
Even to the point where I'm out right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He still, when I got out, he was there for me.
Yeah.
This dude's, he's a major figure.
Yeah.
In his real estate and
Yeah.
things like that. And this guy really affected my life to the point where he's like a father to me.
Yeah.
And
Shouts out to
wife,
him, man.
Yeah, his wife, Kathy, and his
Shouts
sons,
out to him and Kathy,
They
man.
was there for me, man, and
Yeah.
they didn't have to be.
Yeah.
And I really, it was good to have these people in my life. They
Yeah.
changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and I don't know if people really believe me when I say it, but for me, prison was the best thing that happened to me. For me, it was, because with the mindset that I had, there's no way I would be here now. Or I would be in the worst position than I was already, or I'd be dead. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because it took prison for me to find myself, because I thought I was right. I thought everybody else was wrong. I'm like, these people got it fucked up. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one got it right. You know what I'm saying? But because that was the mindset for me at the time. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're home, man. It's a blessing. Like I say, to have seeing you come home and to be at your house, you know what I mean? And you done been at my shows, after being on them yards, man, all these years, man, you know what I mean?
And I'm getting my master's.
And he's still gonna get his master's. He ain't stopped yet.
No.
He's still at it.
Yes, indeed.
And like I said, what the show is, what, the 24th?
The 24th.
The 24th,
May.
The 24th of May.
That's next weekend.
That's his wife's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming out. We're gonna have some people there. I got some comedians. We're gonna have a lot of people that was walk them yards with us. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be a gathering like no other. You know what I'm saying? And now, instead of me telling prisoners in the day room, I'm telling prisoners in the backyard and his yard.
You know what? I think you need to hire. I think after Saturday, you need to hire me to start booking your spots, because we're gonna have so many people there. We're gonna have
to get my money. It's time to end this interview. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Listen, everybody want to get to that now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I want to thank you too for tuning in, man. Everybody watching the show, subscribe, like, leave a comment, share with somebody. Give it up for my partner Jimmy for coming home, 11 months home now, doing amazing things, working with troubled kids, trying to help everybody get their lives together. And listen, we'll be back with another installment real soon. So listen, thank you. Continue to watch. Continue to let people know we got something that's going on over here that's real good, with some great content, with some great people doing some amazing things. And with that being said, peace out.